Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Week 6 edition of Mount Carmel Area Red Tornado Football. My name is Dan Lesko. Alongside me is my friend Jose Gonzalo, and this week's action pits the Red Tornadoes against an unfamiliar foe in the Mifflinburg Wildcats. Tonight's game marks the first meeting between these two teams on the gridiron, and the Red Tornadoes are looking to bounce back after a loss last week to a familiar foe in undefeated North Schuylkill Spartans. Now, in that loss last week, Mount Carmel's offense had over 400 total yards, won the time of possession battle, and ran 71 offensive plays. So looking at those numbers, you wonder, how did they lose? Well, the Spartans' big play capability is what baffled the Red Tornado defense. All 5 of North Schuylkill's touchdowns were on the ground, and the shortest of them went for 39 yards. But Coach Dara and this Red Tornado team are not looking back and are focused on getting the win tonight. Jose, what do you think will be the key for Mount Carmel to get the win tonight?
Well, Danny, I just think they have to bounce back and have to be serious about this football game, and I know they are. Mifflinburg might be a little hurt tonight with the quarterback being out, because I know being able to throw could have been a concern to us, but since he's not going to be out there, of course, we don't know the caliber of the player that's going to take his place, so we shouldn't, take that for granted. But I know Johnny wants to run the ball. He wants to try to get a little more balanced and wants to throw the ball a little bit. But defensively, we're just going to have to be and do what we've done most of the year, and that is play tough, aggressive defense and let the linebackers do their jobs. Yeah,
and I'm curious to see if the field conditions come into effect tonight. It's a little swampy out there, so it might be one of those ground and pound games as the Mifflinburg Wildcats line up here to receive the opening kickoff. Back deep is number 10, Eric Zimmerman, and number 13, Riley Stahl, and 44, Jack Chapman, back to kick off for Mount Carmel. And here we go. Number 10, Zimmerman, takes the opening kickoff. And it looked like number 21, Reed Witkowski, is the first one on the contact there on the kick return there. He gets going to be Mifflinburg Wildcat ball at about the 27-yard line.
It's going to be difficult tonight, Danny. The yard markers aren't in real good shape. The field is pretty soft. They've had some pretty good rain the last couple of days, and they've said it's not usually like this. The AD was telling me it's really usually in pretty good shape.
Okay, all right. So we got, looks like a twins right for Mifflinburg. Reitz rolls out to his right and doesn't have anybody. And it looks like he picks up about 2-3 yards there on the scramble with Ayers on the initial contact, and number 44, Jack Chapman, coming in there to help clean that one up. It's going to set up about a 2nd and 8 for the Wildcats. Actually, it looks like there was no gain there, so it's going to be 2nd and 10. Reitz in the pistol. Number 37, Mason Breed, behind him. And Breed takes the handoff. And Breed gets a bounce back to the line of scrimmage, it looks like.
Yeah, Nick Troutman in there immediately from his linebacker spot. Little help from, good. I think, Colin.
Yep, good. That was Mount Carmel's defense does a really good job. They fly to the football. These linebackers are their top 3 tacklers, and
without doubt,
because of the defensive line doing their job. Reitz in the gun. Rolls to his left here. Throws it into traffic, and it's incomplete. So it's going to set up a 4th and 10 for the Mifflinburg Wildcats. So looks like we're going to see the number 10, Eric Zimmerman, out, the punter and kicker for the Mifflinburg Wildcats here to kick it away.
I never saw anything like that before. We must have had this really scouted, and they knew exactly what was coming. We had all 3 linebackers were outside the right defensive end that time, and no one was here.
Yeah, that's not a usual scene, but that's definitely must have been a play they saw effective. Witkowski with a lot of pressure there on the kick, and Widener getting to the sideline. So after a not too deep punt there for Mount Carmel, Widener with a decent return. They're going to get Mount Carmel started at about the Wildcat 44-yard line. So
that's a 13-yard return and net of 17 yards from the line of scrimmage. So.
Well, that's a good start, good starting position for Mount Carmel here. This is where they want to be, and you're going to see them in their usual set. The wing gun, Reisinger in the gun, Ayers to his left, Daukus at the fullback spot to his right, and Widener in the wing.
Oh, nice job by Mifflinburg.
Yeah, looked like number 51, Bryce Koonsman in there, along with 29, Brock Rischel. And I'll tell you what, Mount Carmel looked a little overpowered on that one up front. It looked like that play was well scouted, as you talked about,
Yep.
and they did a good job getting in the backfield. So we'll see Mount Carmel in the same set, wing gun, Widener in the wing, Daukus to the right. Oh, and it's a bad snap. But Reisinger gets, wow. And Reisinger makes up for the bad snap there, picks it up, able to get his eyes downfield, step up in the pocket, and make a throw to Chapman, who was running free down the field. And it looks like Mount Carmel's going to take the ball down to the 13-yard line here of the Wildcats. So from busted play to, big gain there for Mount Carmel, Jose.
Well, actually worked in Mount Carmel's favor. If you run that tight end delay across the middle, he needs a lot of time to find it. And with the ball hitting the ground and getting around, he had time to get to it.
Yep. Little sweep there to Ayers, that motion sweep. Ayers gets a nice little pickup. Looks like it might be enough for a Mount Carmel first down.
I think it's going to be short, Dan.
Okay, just a little short. Yep. All right, so it's going to be second and about 2 here, but inside the 5. And Widener going into the corner there, and he gets into the end zone for a Mount Carmel area touchdown. And that's that same play that they ran on the first play of the drive, but this time Widener had the wherewithal to see the Wildcats get that penetration inside, takes it outside a little bit more instead of cutting that in, and beats everybody to the corner and gets in for a Mount Carmel touchdown to put us up 6-0.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Dan. He just adjusted to the play from previous, and he took it out, bounced it outside, did a little bubble on it, and took it in for the touchdown.
And that's what these Mount Carmel running backs do well. They adjust.
They're good running backs. They really are.
We're going to see number 24, Julian Steller, on for the PAT. Looks like
Still Trevor Demko holding, or Avery.
Yep, Avery Demko holding, and the kick is up, and it's good. So after with 9:05 remaining in the first quarter, Mount Carmel is winning 7-0, and see what the Wildcats have to do here to kind of try and get something going on offense when they get the ball back here.
Well, I think the best thing they can do is get a good return, and get out of that mud in the center of the field right there, and give themselves some footing. And get themselves some confidence and get some field position. And it'd be great if they can get themselves a little bit of a nice return.
Yeah, and it's a little easier said than done, though.
Yeah,
Mount Carmel's kick coverage team has been doing a fantastic job. I think getting Reed Wikoski back, he's kind of pushing everyone else on the team, because he's in that Jersey Shore game. He was the first one down there.
Yeah, he was.
Now it looks like everybody's trying to race to get to the ball carrier before Reed gets there. Absolutely.
Speaking of that, we had a nice time at Supper Club last night. We had Reed as one of our guests, and what a personable, really affable, nice young man.
Oh yeah, I'd like to see Reed back again next week.
I would too. I told John, I said, can we bring him back? He said, you do whatever you want. No, he did a nice job.
Yeah, Chapman with the kickoff. Zimmerman again takes it to about the 15, and he's looking to get to the outside. And he's got a hole, but Chapman, the kicker, down there, able to kind of knife through the Wildcats blocking there and make the tackle. He just barely made that tackle. If he didn't grab a hold of Zimmerman's jersey there, it looked like Zimmerman was gone.
Well, they did exactly what we asked what they needed to do. They got some field position now. We'll see if they can take advantage of the drier portion of the field.
Yeah, so Mifflinburg Wildcats are going to take over 1st and 10 at their own 44-yard line. And as you said, they're kind of getting out of that mud there, so they might have some easier time with their footing. So we got Reitz coming out in the pistol formation with Breeder behind him. He's going to roll to his left, and he's under a lot of pressure. He tucks it in, and wow, takes a big hit from John Ayers.
Wow.
John Ayers does a great job of getting over there and putting a stick on Reitz. That's going to be a big loss there, too. Loss of about, looks like about 8 yards. Yeah, so that's going to set up a 2nd and 18 for the Wildcats, and now they're back into that mud.
Yes,
so
they are.
We'll see if they can get work their way back out of it.
No, I'm real impressed, Danny, with our scouting, and our linebackers immediately flowed to the right side of the field on a twin set. So it'll be interesting to see if they continue to try to do the same thing.
Yeah. We got a flag on the play here. Looks like number 13, Stahl, coming inward on a motion. I'm wondering if he stepped forward first. Oh, no, we got an offsides against Mount Carmel.
Where was that?
Looks like it might have been a neutral zone infraction. Maybe somebody lined up in the neutral zone. I didn't see any movement. So I'm wondering if one of the D linemen was lined up in the neutral zone. But that's, 5 yards for
makes a big
for
difference
the Wildcats. Yeah, so that's going to give them a 2nd and 14 now. So we'll see what they can do here. And again, starting to move out of that muddy part. Reitz in the pistol here. Stahl in motion inward. Little sweep. Stahl on the crackback block. Doing a little dancing around there, and that was number 21 on the carry, Michael Warren. Picks up maybe a yard. Looks like he stays right about at the line of scrimmage there. So it's going to be, actually, looks like he might have lost a yard. So it's going to be about a third and 15 here. 3rd and 14 for.
It was a yard loss, though.
Yeah, 3rd and 14 for the Wildcats. So.
Ayers and Wills on that tackle.
Yeah, Ayers and Wills getting in there. These defensive ends do a great job of contain and give those linebackers a good opportunity to make tackles as well.
Well, you being an old DN, Danny, you can appreciate what they've done.
Absolutely.
What they do.
Yep, Hood and Wills do a great job. And Reitz is rolling out. Hood's got him under pressure, and he just throws it away because he was at full speed there running towards the sideline, and I don't think he was going to be able to stop. If he would have slowed down just a tiny bit there, Mike Hood would have been all over him.
I agree.
That was a great job by the defensive backs. That's a coverage sack, you know what I mean?
Without a doubt. There was no one open.
No, nobody open. I apologize, not a sack, but Reitz did a good job of just throwing that ball away and kind of saving himself a little bit here.
Well, Woody will be glad with the hurry because he has a whole bunch, and he's one of the team leaders for the last 3 or 4 years. He's been a leader in hurries.
Yeah, he does a great job again after the quarterback. So Zimmerman back to punt.
Nice.
Under a little bit of pressure. Good punt, though. And Widener picks it up and gets up the right sideline. And looks like he got pushed out of bounds right about the Mount Carmel 46-yard line. So Mount Carmel going to be starting off in their own territory on this drive, but very, very close to Wildcat territory. So, Jose, do you think we're gonna see him go back to the air, or do you think we're going to see him more of the same
I
here?
think he's going to want to run the football, but, whenever we say anything with John.
That's true, yeah. He likes to prove us wrong.
Well, I think he wants to get these guys their carries. I'm sure that he wants to try to do that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So we got wing gun here. And play action pass. He's got a lot of time. Now he's under some pressure, gets out of the pocket, and steps out of bounds. So that's gonna go down as a sack for Reisinger. Had a lot of time, but
good coverage.
Well covered.
I only saw one man in a pattern, though.
Yeah, I think it
we're
was
running the same play, Danny. We ran before.
Yeah, I think it was Chapman out in the pattern, and it looked like number 13 Stahl from a linebacker spot in coverage, along with number 25. Logan Lloyd, and they did a great job in coverage there. So it's going to be a 2nd and about 16.
Well, I take that running stuff back. They're going to try it, but they have 7 men in the line of scrimmage. And it's
Ayers on the sweep to the left side there, and Ayers another tough run. We always see Ayers running tough, and we like to talk about it. He does most of his work 3, 4, 5 yards at a time, grinding it out. And that's right there was a good pickup of about 10 or 11.
Well, that's a typical Ayers run, and we talked about it at Supper Club where you know, he's in the top 4 now with Veach and Diminick. And Veach and Diminick had the 60s and the 70s and the 80-yard runs. And John's are all 4 to 11.
Right. And Mount Carmel with a tough snap there to Reisinger, and he has to fall on it. So going from a 3rd and 5, looks like we're going to be back here at about a 4th and 10, and it looks like Mount Carmel's bringing on the punt team.
Maybe we should have just stayed on the ground and pounded the ball. What do you think, Danny?
Yeah.
No, it's easy. It's easy to second guess later. John will get this thing going.
Oh yeah, they'll be all right here. So we got Ayers back to punt to number 13, Riley Stahl for the Wildcats. And Ayers gets off an end over end, a decent punt. Stahl picks it up and doesn't have much room. Number 14, Avery Demko down there, coming from a gunner spot, I believe, and making a very nice tackle there. So it looks like the Wildcats are going to take the ball over at about the 26-yard line, their own 26-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Wildcats, and we'll see if they have anything to kind of if they've made any adjustments from these first 2 series to try and start moving the football. So the Wildcats come out, Reed's in the pistol. He's got Breeder and Warren. It's a straight handoff, a little power. And Warren gets a pickup of about 3. So that's going to bring up a 2nd and 7. Host the Red Tornadoes on the tackle.
Plowing his way out to the 30-yard line where he's met by Ayers. 2nd and 6 after that 4-yard gain.
Now Wildcats coming back to the line. Yeah, Stahl is their leading receiver currently. Now they do have their second quarterback in here, but Stahl's a threat through the air, so haven't seen him go to him yet. There's a handoff to the bruiser Breeder, and that's a tough run there. Looked like initial contact there by was that Billy Anderson on the initial contact, yeah, and helped out by his linebackers there, Ayers and Troutman. Pick up of about another 3 yards there, so it looks like it's going to be about 3rd and 4 for Mifflinburg.
What I do find interesting, Danny, is that Avery Demko has always covered the other team's best receiver, and we have Tanner on him tonight.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, you don't. I didn't even take notice of that. I'm glad you noticed that, Jose, because that's something new, maybe a new wrinkle.
Well, I don't want to say they don't respect. I mean, that's not the case at all. Or maybe they fear the second guy as well.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. And you know, Wildcats on a very, very short run there, so it's going to bring up a 4th down and 3, and it looks like they are going to punt again. Mount Carmel's 2 deep return men. Looks like Burkowski along with Widener. Zimmerman with the kick, and Widener fields it, and he's got some room. He gets out to the sideline, and he's tackled at about the 50-yard line, right about midfield, where Mount Carmel is going to take over. 1st and 10. So we'll see Mount Carmel. I'm wondering if they're going to go back to the ground game here, Jose. Like we said, you can't really predict what they do. Coach Dara has his own method to his madness. I know he likes to try new things out, but we'll see if we can get some more points on the board on this drive.
Who's in at tackle? Logan Wills just lined up at tight end on the right side.
Okay, well that's a.
I wonder if Zach Artman is in somewhere.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look here. Reisinger wing gun. Hands it to Widener, and Widener gets up inside, and he cuts back across the field a little bit here. And that's going to be a good pickup of about 9 yards for Widener. That was a very, very nice cut there. And, yeah, it looks like Artman is in the game. Artman 55. It looks like he may be at center. I think Artman's at center. And looks like Shurock out at left guard, left tackle.
No. I think Shurock's there. I think Artman's at guard. Chile may have kicked out the tackle. We got to get a better look.
Yeah. And here's Widener getting on the outside here. He is going to pick up a first down. That's a pickup of about 5 yards there for Widener, so that's another good run. And Widener always, I know this play is ran a lot and practiced a lot for Mount Carmel, but him and John, they do a great job of finding that cutback lane. Every time, they always pick the right cutback lane,
and the longer they're going on in the season, the better they're getting to read blocks and read the guys' blocks in front of them.
Absolutely. They look really good right now. So looks like we've got Ayers in motion. Reisinger rolling to his right, and he's going to throw it out to Chapman. And Chapman very well defended by Riley Stahl, number 13 for the Wildcats. And looked like Chapman had a step on him, but Stahl did a good job of getting a hand in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to try and figure out what we got going on with this offensive line here, see if we can.
Well, it looks like Mike Mikowski's at tackle,
Yep.
and Chili's at guard,
And
Shurek
is at center,
Artman at right guard, and I'm imagining
Billy at
right tackle.
Yeah, I think so.
And Logan's in his glory, wearing his number 4 jersey, playing tight end.
Yeah, he's happy to be back in that number 4. I know that. I saw him with 57 pregame, so I wasn't sure. But I know he's happy to be back there.
Well, he started the game there, but screen.
And that's a very well set up screen, and Ayers does a good job, and that's going to be a Mount Carmel touchdown. And beautiful block downfield. I think that was number 54, Mikowski. Yeah, that was a great job downfield. And Mount Carmel, lining up there, that's a great play because they designed that so well. It looks like just a normal rollout for Tommy, and when John breaks back to pick up that backside blitzer, and then John just turns around and catches the pass.
Yeah, it was really nice, and he did a nice job following blockers.
Yeah, and as you said, Mikowski with a great block downfield and way downfield that gave John that little cutback. So it's 13-0 Mount Carmel. Julian Steller, number 24, on the kick. The kick is up, and he drilled that one through. Very good kick by Julian Steller, and that's going to be another good PAT there for number 24, and it's going to make the score.
Well, all the extra work that Steller is putting in during the week is coming early to practice and staying late at practice with Coach Juraski. He and Chapman have both done that this week, and I think it's starting to really pay off for this young man. Yeah,
they're both looking very, very good out there. They look like as you said, it was tough to get Steller reps because he's a multifaceted player. He plays offense, defense, special teams. So it's tough getting him reps, but putting in that extra time is definitely paying off. So now with 2:07 left here in the first quarter, the Red Tornadoes are up 14-0 on the Mifflinburg Wildcats. So we'll have to see what Mifflinburg does. They had a little bit of success in the ground game, on the last drive, grinding out a few yards with
2 4-yard runs, and if they could have put a third one together, they might have been able to get a first down.
Right, with Breed and Warren. So we'll see if they continue to go back to that. And Zimmerman and Stahl back deep. Chapman got his hand up in the air, ready to kick it off. And he kicks it off, and it looks like Stahl's going to now he picks it up, and he's got up in the hole here, and he slips in the mud. And Karicki was the first guy there. It looked like Karicki might have had him in his sights, but Stahl, very, very explosive player for the Wildcats, and if he didn't slip in that mud there, he might have been able to get to the outside and make a big play.
Yeah, it was a real nice return. He ran right through. He got a good hole.
Yeah. So the Wildcats are going to take over at about the 37-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 Wildcats, and we'll see if they can get something going here.
You know what? Stahl's in the backfield.
Yeah, Stahl's in.
Is it a Wildcat?
Yep, that's what it looks like to me. A little Wildcat, and he's going to keep it right behind Breeder. And a short pickup there of about 2. So, I think we're going to see this a little bit. I did see Stahl throwing the ball in pregame as well. So he's not just a runner when he's back there. So Mount Carmel's got to be aware of that. But that's going to be a little bit more of it looked like a 3-yard pickup, actually. So it's going to be 2nd and 7 for the Wildcats.
Well, you know, I guess Coach had to mix it up a little bit, losing his starter, using a guy that is good as DeGroat.
Yeah, and Stahl still in there with gives a handoff to Breeder there, and looks like the two defensive ends in there on the play. Hoodie did a great job coming from the wide side of the field, squeezing down the line of scrimmage and making the initial hit on Breeder, and Will's there to clean it up. So it's going to be a 3rd and about 5 for the Wildcats.
Logan's probably totally motivated wearing number 4, and he'll be on every play tonight.
I know on defense he's always motivated no matter what number, but I know offensively he's going to be on the sideline saying, "Coach, throw me a pass, throw me a pass."
Well, he was in the pattern with Chappie the last time when Chappie didn't connect on that one, but
so
he was
he's
out
ready.
there.
He's ready. Stahl rolling to his left, and he takes a big hit from Hoodie. And throws that ball out of bounds, intended for number 7, Robert Foltz, but it does fall incomplete, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 5 for the Wildcats, and it looks like they are bringing on the punt team. Again, Burkowski and Widener back deep to receive the punt. There's 27 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Mount Carmel area up 14-0. And good snap to Zimmerman. And he gets the punt away. It's a high but short punt. And looks like the Wildcats are going to fall on it. Looks like number 62 there, Colton Hare, downs the ball at about the Mount Carmel 41-yard line. So Mount Carmel continuing to have great field position to start their drives. They haven't started a drive inside their own 40 yet. So that may be a pattern here. And it's definitely looking good for Mount Carmel.
Yeah, we started on the 44, 46, and 49.
Yeah. And a handoff to Ayers here, and Ayers gets up in the hole. That's a good pick of about 6. So that's a good run there by Ayers.
At the quarter.
And that is going to take us to the quarter. So here, you know, at the end of the first quarter, Mount Carmel up 14-0 against the Mifflinburg Wildcats here. And looks like Mount Carmel continuing to move the ball. Good pickup there by Ayers. This is what they do. I mean, they did it last week against North Schuylkill. They grinded it out. They had long drives. They ran a lot of plays. And this is starting to look like a pattern, Jose. What do you think?
Well, I agree. At the end of the first quarter, Mount Carmel with 32 yards rushing and 68 passing, total offense of 100 yards. Mifflinburg with 4 yards on the ground net for a total offense of 4 yards. So it's been totally dominating performance. And if they can keep the emotion up and keep playing like this, it ought to be a pretty nice night for them.
Yeah, and as you said, you know, they got to be focused. It's good to come into a game confident, but you have to make sure that you don't overlook any teams or look back. You know, it's easy to look back at a tough loss to North Schuylkill last week, but it looks like, as you said, they came in focused. They're not looking ahead. They're not looking back. They're focusing on the task at hand here, and they're doing a great job.
And I think that's the mark of a good team, Danny, is that you win the games you're supposed to win.
Absolutely. You got to win the games you're supposed to win, and you got to forget about the losses, too, which I think Coach Dara does a good job of instilling that in them. So here comes Mount Carmel, wing gun. They got a little split out here with Chapman and Dempko. Dempko on a nice little stop route. And he gets away, and he's breaking free. And there is a flag thrown because Dempko is going to go into the end zone for a Mount Carmel touchdown, but there is a flag back around the 25-yard line, so we'll have to see what that is. But that was a well-designed play, a little stop route to Dempko, and then he just a little run after catch there, broke a few tackles and did a great job.
It was probably a block in the back.
That's normally what we see downfield.
At that point, and it was probably not necessary at all.
Oh, it was a holding, actually, a holding downfield.
Wow.
But again, it looked like it was behind the play.
Foul signaled against Mount Carmel.
It was downfield, so we'll see if the first down stands, if they're going to...
Well, it will.
Yeah, they're going to take it back 10 yards from the spot there at the 25, or at the 30, I believe.
At the 30. So it should be first on the 40.
Yeah.
You know, I love the way Avery Demko catches the ball. He catches it with his hands all the time. He never lets it get to his body. And obviously that 4x1 speed, a state medalist last year in track, he's got great speed, and I think he showed it there.
Yeah, and as you said, he also bulked up in the offseason.
Yes,
so,
he did.
So he did a good job. He was able to show off that speed because he had that strength to break away from a few tacklers there. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Red Tornadoes here at the Mifflinburg Wildcat 40-yard line. And
we should just run a post here, Danny. You see it?
Yep.
We don't run it, I don't think. But
well, they got
fade on the other side.
And there it is again. We go right back to Avery Demko, I believe. And yeah, that's Reisinger took a step back. It looked like 3 straight fly routes. Widener down the seam, Chapman down the right side, and Demko down the left side. And it looked like all 3 receivers had a step on their defender. But Chapman wanted to give Demko his due, wanted to give him his touchdown that he lost because of that penalty. Throws it up there. As you said, that 4x1 speed of Avery Demko outruns his defender, makes a beautiful catch, and gets into the end zone and is pretty pumped about it too.
It's a nice throw too by Tom Reisinger.
Very nice ball. I'm sure the ball's a little wet tonight, so that was a great throw.
Well, that throw, Danny, puts Tommy, he's just made it in 10th place last time on a career list with 1,902 yards. And he is now over 2,000 yards in his career and solidly in 10th place on the all-time career passing mark.
Well, there you go. Congratulations to Tom Reisinger on moving into 10th place in all-time passing. And as you saw there, it looked like a Wildcat was able to get a hand on the PAT there by Julian Steller. So it's going to be 20-0 Mount Carmel with 11:33 remaining in the first half. So Jose, I'm interested to see. I'm not sure what the Wildcats are going to have to do, but they got to do something to get the ball going, you know?
Well, what they're running so far doesn't look like it's a come from behind type of offense. They were going to have to work with the Wildcat and try to run the ball and try to get some things going. And it's going to be really difficult the rest of the way.
Yeah, it's
without the quarterback. You feel bad in a way. You want them to be at full strength in a game like this, and I don't like when this happens.
Yeah, because for Mount Carmel, I'm sure they wanted the growth to play because they don't want, if they get the win, they don't want anybody to be making any excuses. And for Mifflinburg, you want to be at your best when
Sure.
you're playing against a tough Mount Carmel team. But we're going to see what they decide to do, if they go with Stahl again at the quarterback spot in the Wildcat, or if they put Reeds back in there. But we got Stahl and Zimmerman back deep to receive the kick, and Chapman again lining up for the kickoff. Chapman checks with his teammates. They're all ready to go. And he booms. That's a good line drive kick down there, taken around the 10-yard line by Stahl. And Stahl gets a little bit to the outside and gets brought down on the play by number 1, Tanner Karicki, on the Mount Carmel sideline there. So it looks like they're going to take over right about the 35-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 Wildcats on their own 35. So we're going to see what they decide to go with here. It looks like Stahl going.
Oh, he's coming to the sideline.
He's coming to the sideline. So I think it looks like Reitz is in there. He's calling the play in the huddle. So Mount Carmel's defense out there, they're probably feeling pretty good about themselves right now after a good first quarter. Now we got Reitz in the pistol, Breeder behind him. We got Warren and number 7 Foltz out in the pass pattern. A little reverse here to is that number 10, Zimmerman, around, and makes a decent little cut back there and puts his shoulder down.
That was almost like an old-time Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, it looked like a little fake, and then the end around almost, but not much of a gain on there. To trying to pull out all the stops, it looks like, for the Wildcats.
They have no choice.
Yeah. So it's going to be a 1-yard gain. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 9. Reaches back out there. Breeder and Warren in the backfield. And it's going to be a handoff straight to Warren. And he gets nowhere. It looks like he actually loses about a yard, or maybe stays right around the line of scrimmage there. But Mount Carmel's defense just very, very tough up the middle. Last week it was tough for Mount Carmel. North Schuylkill did they spread you out. They a lot of misdirection, and were able to see things open up in the middle and take advantage of it. But most of the season, Mount Carmel's defense was stout in the middle, as they are today. So Reitz rolls to his left, and he throws the ball out. A little inaccurate there for Stahl. Looks like he was kind of trying to set his feet and put it just a little out in front of Stahl. So it's going to be a 4th and 9 for the Mifflinburg Wildcats, and they are going to punt back to Mount Carmel. And Zimmerman back again on the punt. And again for Mount Carmel, Burkowski and Widener back deep to receive the kick. So they are lined up at about the 38-yard line. So I think they're going to have another good field position here. That's a very good punt by Zimmerman there. And again, Widener does a good job, makes one guy miss, and gets upfield a little bit. It's tackled at about the 41-yard line. So again, Mount Carmel, again, starting in great field position. They're going to start at their own. Oh, it looks like the side judge here is fixing himself. It looks like they're going to start at their own 42-yard line. And it's going to be 1st and 10, Mount Carmel, from their own 42. And we're going to see what Mount Carmel does here. If they continue to go to the passing game, they're spreading it out again with Chapman and Demko coming up to the line. And we've got Reisinger in the backfield. We've got Ayers
in the wing,
to the left. Widener out in the pass pattern here, and as well as Ayers.
Oh, that was going to be a delay.
Yeah, that was looked like a well-designed play. Reisinger under some pressure from number 31. Garrett Becker got in there and put a hit on Reisinger in the backfield. Made a little bit of an inaccurate throw.
I'm not sure I've seen that before, Danny, where John lines up in that wing and then just delays, pretends to block, and then just sneaks into the flat.
Yeah, it looked like he did it on the left side, and Widener also did it on the right side. So they were both out in those little delays. Yeah. Well, now we're back in the normal. Tightened up, wing gun, Widener in the wing, Dalkus in the wing, and it's an inside handoff to Widener. And it looks like he breaks through there. It looked like there wasn't a whole lot there, and he kind of broke through for a pickup of about 5 yards. And it looks like it's going to be about a pickup of 4. It looks like it's going to be a 3rd and 6 for the Red Tornadoes. So that was a good job by Widener. These guys, as we said, we talk about their vision. They do a really good job of making people miss, too, and kind of sneaking through. They kind of almost hide behind their linemen at times.
Widener 5 for 26 at this stage of the game.
Yeah. So Karicki in motion and gets the pitch here, and looks like he's going to be close.
He's going to have the first down.
He does have the first down, yeah. And that was a good job by Karicki, kind of sticking his foot in the ground. And that's hard to do here on this wet field. But he stuck his foot in the ground, made a nice little cutback, and got upfield to get enough for the first down. So it's going to be 1st and 10 Mount Carmel at the Wildcat 46-yard line. So we got Jack Chapman and Demko out and it's going to be, it looks like a little post.
Throw it again.
Or a fade. Oh, and that's a great ball to Demko, but it looked like he was tripped up incidentally by the Wildcat coverage, Logan Lloyd. and wasn't able to haul that one in. It was a great ball by Reisinger.
It was thrown where no one else was going to get it, Danny, but I think it was just a little bit too far behind him on the outside for him to adjust to the ball.
Yeah, looking inside for that pass and then having to get his head turned around and find the ball. It just got there a little too quick for him to make that adjustment. But that was a good ball by Reisinger. And as you said, we see an incompletion. They go right back to tighten things up. Reisinger gives a handoff to Ayers. He gets behind Mikowski and Wills, and he gets up the seam. And that's a good run there by Ayers. And as we said, almost uncharacteristically of John. He's more of a, you said 7 to 11 yards, right?
Yeah, this was 19.
Yeah, a little 19-yard run, but he's got that ability. He's just got that vision and the speed to do it. And that's another great run. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Mount Carmel at about the 27-yard line of the Wildcats.
4 carries, 46 yards for John.
John just keeps plugging along and keep running hard. So now we got Reisinger in the gun. Chapman out wide right. It looks like he's going to him. Oh. Little, it looks like, is that Troutman it looked like? Was that, oh no, that was Widener coming out of the slot there, the wing spot, and on a little out route. Chapman well covered heading down the sideline. So tried to go to Widener. Just a little low and outside for him there. A little tough for Widener to get to it. So it's going to be a 2nd and 10, Mount Carmel. Reisinger again in the gun. Ayers to his left. Daukus and Widener wing right. Chapman and Wills at the tight end spots. He gives it to Widener. Widener sees a seam, but that's a great job.
Nice play
by a Wildcat defender. It looked like number 13 Stahl and 37 Breeder in there on the tackle, and they did a great job of kind of letting the 2 lead blockers go by and sneaking in behind them and stopping Widener, because it looked like Widener had a lot of room in front of him. So it's going to be about a 3rd and 6 for the Red Tornadoes here after about a 4-yard gain for Widener. So we're going to see Mount Carmel again, wing gun. Ayers to Reisinger's left, Daukus and Widener in the wing. So we'll see what they decide to do here with Chapman and Wills in the tight end spots. And he's going to go back to Widener on that inside sally play. And Widener cuts it outside and then cuts it back up in upfield.
Second effort gets him the 1st down.
And, it looked like after he had cut out towards the sideline, he wasn't going to get it. And then just another little shake move there and cut it back upfield to get enough for the 1st down. It's a great effort carry there for Widener, and another 1st down for Mount Carmel. So it's 1st and 10 Mount Carmel on the Wildcat 15-yard line. Ayers in motion, gets the toss, he ran into number 21, Michael Warren, who actually had looked like he got turned around and had his back turned, and then kind of had to readjust and was taken down by number 29, Brock Rischel, on the actual tackle. But that play set up by Warren there. Well, Mount Carmel out again. We're going to say this plenty of times during the game. Wing gun, Widener in the wing, Daukus and Ayers in the backfield. Fake the sweep to Ayers. Reisinger does a nice job of making the 1st guy miss, but then taken down by a host of Wildcats there after a short gain.
When he gets to the 11, it looks like they gave him forward progress.
Yeah. So that's looks like it's going to be about a 3rd and 6 here for the Red Tornadoes. So we'll see what Coach Dara decides to do. I know when we were up at Jersey Shore 2 weeks ago, down close to the goal line, gotten like a 2nd or a 3rd down, and he decided to throw, and we actually ended up throwing a pick. So I'm interested to see if we decide to keep the ball on the ground here, or if we go in the air and we spread out like we're going to the air. And Reisinger drops back, throws it up. A little goal line fade there to Chapman, but he just overthrows him. That was number 21, Warren, on the coverage for Chapman. And that's a tough one there. Mount Carmel, Reisinger throwing towards the boundary. It's not a whole lot of room for error there.
We haven't thrown anything in the middle of the field, Danny.
No, and
at all.
I'm wondering if that's because of just the shape of the field, or if that's just what we.
Well, it's perfect down there. What do you think?
Very true. Very true. So Widener comes out now. This is definitely a passing formation. He's got nobody next to him, and that's going to be
timeout.
A timeout. Mount Carmel. So looks like they kind of want to get together and talk about things before this fourth down play.
It gets into a 4-score game, and I don't think they want that to happen. So they want to make sure that they're all on the same page. And it's a 4th and 7.
Yeah, and you know, this is I think this is a good decision by Mount Carmel. You know, you're on the 11-yard line, so if you don't get the 7 yards, you don't really feel too bad putting that great defense on the field with the Wildcats backed up on their, you know, in their own territory.
Yeah, especially since they have 5 total yards.
Right. Yeah. So I think Mount Carmel is definitely. But it looked like that said they were going to throw the ball. You know, when they don't have anybody back there next to Reisinger, he doesn't usually run it unless he's, you know, doing the little fake pitch and stuff like that. So he's definitely going to drop back and throw it up there. I'm curious to see, though, if he's going to go to his favorite Chapman on the season or his favorite target tonight, Demko. You know?
I would say the jump ball to Chapman if I was going to bet, but he might throw one of those little delays to John or somebody else.
Oh, and it looks like they changed the formation up here, so Ayers is in the backfield next to Reisinger. But he's going to throw it, and it's a little middle screen, and it looked like he was trying to go to Widener.
Was Widener or was that Daukus?
Widener, yeah. It looked like they were trying to go to Widener there on a middle screen. I don't think I've seen Coach Darrow run that play at all this year, so that might have been something they worked on this week, and he wanted to try it out. But, again, you know, incomplete pass, so the Wildcats are going to take over 1st and 10 on their own 11-yard line, so they're backed up in their own territory here. We'll see if Mount Carmel decides to bring some pressure. And Reitz is still in the game here, so they're going to keep Reitz in there at quarterback. It looks like they, you know, with 5:43 left here in the half, they might decide that they're going to throw. Oh, no. And Reitz actually out, lined up at receiver. Stahl in the backfield, rolling to his right. Steps up. Oh, he's going to be taken down on the play. It looks like the ball came out, but I think he was ruled down. But that was number 88, Mike Hood, on the initial contact of Stahl in the backfield there with the sack. And Hoodie, as we said, always getting after that quarterback, you know, always in the backfield.
He's having a nice year, Danny. He's having a real nice year.
Very nice year. I mean, that just going back to that Jersey Shore game, I mean, I think he had more sacks in that Jersey Shore game than I had in my whole career, so that's pretty good. Now, it looks like Stahl still in at quarterback. Little handoff up the middle. And doesn't go really anywhere. So it's going to be, it looks like it's going to be a 3rd and 16 at their own 5-yard line. So I think the Wildcats' best option here, with how much pressure Mount Carmel has been getting on the quarterback, would be to run the ball into the line, keep it at the 5, or try and pick up a couple so they have some room to punt it. But we'll see what they decide to do. Wildcats come out. Warren and Reitz out wide left for Stahl, and he's got Breeder in the backfield with him. Stahl takes the snap. He's rolling to his left, and he throws it out to it looked like Breeder, but it was a very, very short gain. Actually, it was no gain. He threw it out to Breeder, and Breeder caught it at the 5-yard line, so it's going to be a 4th and 16 for the Wildcats. And I'm looking to see Mount Carmel bring some pressure here, Jose.
Well, if they want to put a quick one up, they just may.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like all 4 or 5 of the Wildcats' punts so far have Karicki or Witkowski have gotten really close to blocking them. So if they bring one extra, they only have one guy back deep to return. So it looks like they are going to bring some pressure. And
safety.
Yep, and I think that may have been planned because number 10, Zimmerman, made 0 effort to catch that. So I think that was designed. I think they wanted him to snap it over his head, which is not a bad play. by the Wildcats there. So it's going to be a safety for the Wildcats. So Mount Carmel is now up 22-0 with 3:31 remaining in the first half, and they're about to kick off. Oh, and I think they kick off from
the 20,
the 20 or the 25. So yeah, they're going to kick off from the 20-yard line to the Red Tornadoes. So we'll, you know, this may have. I think it's a lot easier, definitely, to kick off from the 20 than to punt out of the back of your own end zone. So, smart play there by the Wildcats. And for Mount Carmel, we got number 1, Karicki, and 28, Widener back deep to return. And they are very deep. Yeah, that looks like Hoodie kind of telling them to move up a little bit. Yeah. So number 10, Zimmerman, going to be in here for the kickoff. And we'll see how Zimmerman does here on the kickoff. This is his first kickoff of the night, so not really sure where to be lined up for the Red Tornadoes.
Tells me he can kick pretty good if those guys were going all the way back.
Yeah.
Where they did.
Yeah, I think so. So we're going to see, and it is a good kick. It's a little bit of a weird roller, and Karicki picks it up and is brought down quickly by number 42, Sidney Levin. And that's a good job on the coverage. That weird spinning kick. It was kind of a duck up there, and it hit the ground and died. So Karicki had to come up and pick it up, not really able to get any momentum going. But Lemon did a good job of getting down there and making the tackle.
Yeah, he didn't know whether it was going to go out of bounds or not, probably hoping. I guess it would go 25 yards from the spot. It would have been out to 45.
Yeah.
I think that's the way they marked them.
I think so, too. But now it's going to be Mount Carmel ball, 1st and 10 at their
37?
Their own 37. So this could be the worst starting field position for the game. A handoff straight up the middle, a little, and Daukus is free, and he just continues to carry Wildcat defenders. That's that little wedge play, as you said, Jose, the direct snap to Daukus, and Daukus was just, kind of right on the back of his blockers there as they moved the ball. That ended up being a gain of about
24 yards.
24 yards. Wow. That was a great play, and it looked like Daukus had a lot of open field there. Great job. So Mount Carmel is going to come out 1st and 10 at the Wildcat 40. Reisinger rolls to his left.
There's the middle of the field.
And throws it to Chapman. Oh, and just out of Chapman's reach. He had Chapman and Wills out in a pattern there. Chapman running like a corner route, and Wills running the backside post. Throws it out in front of Chapman, who had a few steps.
I think normally Chappie catches that ball. It's probably really slick and muddy and wet.
Yeah, kind of has to run a little gingerly to keep his footing, but a great ball by Reisinger. Great ball.
After his 4 for 5 start, Tommy's 0 for 6.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's worsening field conditions, though, to play a part in that. And there's another direct snap to Daukus, and it looks like a pickup of about 6 there. So there's nothing, nothing really tricky about that except for the direct snap. It's just a quick hitter there to Daukus, and okay, it's a pickup of about 5. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 for Mount Carmel here. But Daukus, getting up there in rushing yards. He hasn't had a carry in a few games now, I don't think.
No, not for a while. He had a couple pass attempts.
Yeah. So
a 3-yarder last week.
Again, the direct snap again at Daukus.
Looks like a scrum here.
Yeah, he continues to move the ball. And that's a pickup of about 8 yards, it looks like. 8 or 10 yards.
25, 9.
9 yards. So yeah, I was right in the middle there. But yeah, and that's going to be another Mount Carmel first down. They might run that play just straight down the field. There's in motion. Reisinger rolling to his right. Oh, slips a little bit. Got the throw back to Chapman, and Chapman just got to beat Stahl to the corner, but Stahl does a good job of pushing Chapman out of bounds. It looked like all Chapman had to do was beat Stahl to the corner, but Stahl very quick getting out there. But it is going to bring up another Mount Carmel first down. It's going to bring up 1st and goal at the Wildcat 3-yard line. So Mount Carmel with 2 minutes and counting here before the first half, looking to punch another one in here. And we got an official time here. Looks like the clock was, it looks like something with the clock. They're asking to reset the clock to 2 minutes.
Clock is adjusted to 2 minutes remaining in the half.
And now the clock will stay at 2 minutes here. And Mount Carmel at the line, wing gun, Reisinger in motion, and they give it to Daukus. And Daukus right through the wedge there into the end zone for a 3-yard run. So Daukus did most of the damage along with that pass to Chapman. So might as well give Daukus his due there as well, like they did with Demko on the first drive, and get him his touchdown. That was a great job by the Red Tornadoes and by Daukus. Daukus did a good job on that drive.
Four carries for 42 yards.
Yeah, so he did most of the damage there. So it was a good job by Daukus and good job by Mount Carmel. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right, Jose?
Exactly. Do it until they stop it.
Yep. So Stellar comes out for his 4th extra point of the game. Snaps good to Demko. It looks like tough. Looks like Stellar lost his footing there on his plant foot and kicked that one into the line. So it's gonna remain 28-0 Red Tornadoes with 1:53 remaining here in the first half. So now we'll see what Mount Carmel has going on here defensively, and I'm thinking that the Wildcats are really going to throw the ball out there on this drive. I mean, they got to try and do something to get some points on the board before the end of the first half, Jose.
Yeah, they sure do. They're in negative territory right now with yardage.
Yeah.
They've definitely got to get something going, or this is over.
Yeah, if I think they're going to need to put a score up, or it's going to be tough to come back from 4 scores down in the second half. So, but I've seen crazier things happen.
Oh, sure. So. -6 yards right now in the first half for Mifflinburg. It's definitely our best half of the year defensively.
Yeah, definitely. I would say so. I mean, it's probably close with Jersey Shore, though, right? The Jersey Shore game.
No, Jersey Shore moved the ball a little bit in the first half. They were probably, well, they ended up with 97 total yards, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe they had 37 or 40 or something like that.
Okay.
The first half.
Well, yeah, then this is a great first half. And as we see Chapman lining up to kick it off again to Zimmerman and Stahl down there. And Chapman checks with the left side. He checks with the right side. Everybody's good. So we are back on the clock here. And it gets picked up by, it looked like Warren there. And no, number 25, Logan Lloyd, in the second line picks that ball up and takes it to about the Wildcat 35. So they're going to take over 1st and 10 on their own 35.
And that the assassin on the kickoff again, Reed Witkowski.
Yeah.
Another tackle.
Reed, as we said, you know, that we talk. It's a lot of fun to be on the kickoff team. I always thought it was fun being on the kickoff. Even when I was a senior and they said, oh, you don't have to be on special teams, I wanted to be out there because it was fun.
Jacob Reese in the game. Tyler Owens in the game. On defense for Mount Carmel.
Yeah, here we go. Let's see.
And Julian Stellar.
Reese with the handoff. And Reese and Owens. As you said, they just entered the game, and Reese and Owens both in on the tackle there. So number 21, Michael Warren there with a good pickup of about 4 yards, 4.5. We'll call it 5. So it's going to be a 2nd and 5.
It's the biggest gainer of the night.
Yeah, and it's going to be a 2nd and 5 for the Wildcats here with 1:20 and counting left to go in the first half. Reitz has Stahl come across the field in motion.
Now this time we had
Warren.
Demko on a man-to-man. Tyler Owens.
Yeah, Tyler Owens with him, and Tyler Owens and Jacob Reese in there again. You know, Owens upends Warren, and Reese comes in to put the hit on him as he's hitting the ground. So again, you know, those guys coming into the game a little late here and already starting to make their mark.
You saw Trevor or Avery. I keep saying Trevor from way back when. Avery Demko in the man coverage on
ran
the receiver came with him.
So we got Reitz again in the pistol with Warren and Breeder. Stahl out in the pass pattern here. And it was a handoff to Breeder, but the flag is, I didn't see a flag. Is there a flag thrown here? We got Okay, so the flag is thrown. Offsides on Mount Carmel again, so that's going to be a first down for the Wildcats.
It's the first down of the night.
And that is their first down of the game. And
on penalty.
Yeah, it comes by way of a offsides penalty by Mount Carmel. So we've got, it's going to be a 1st and 10. The clock is still winding down. There's 30 seconds remaining in the first half. And it doesn't look like the Wildcats are in any hurry to get out to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, a little surprised. This is the closest they've gotten all night.
Yeah, and now they hustle up to the line. Stahl in at quarterback. Warren, oh, nope, they switched to number 4, Antonyuk.
Got a little messed up, I guess.
Yeah, and they call a little timeout there with 11.2 seconds remaining in the first half. And that's the first we're seeing of number 4, Antonyuk, in there. But that was an interesting little play there. They had Stahl there, thought that maybe they'd go to the run game, and then they shifted, and Stahl and Antonyuk just switched spots.
Like you said, they're going to try anything, and maybe thought that maybe catch us off guard on something like that.
Yeah.
I want to mention Jared Stewart in a ball game again for us too at defensive tackle.
Yeah, hard to miss him out there.
No, one of our co-op players from Lourdes, as is Reese.
Reese, yep.
It's good to have those guys around. They've been great contributors to this program over the years.
Yes, they have. I remember playing with Jared's brother, Billy.
Yeah, Billy played for us, and it wouldn't be for concussions.
Yeah.
I think would have had a fantastic senior year. I think he had to miss the whole year. Did he not?
That was after I had graduated, but I believe he did miss most of his year. But yeah, definitely can't miss Jared out there on the field. What is he, about 6'7"?
6'7".
Yeah, big boy out there. So we've got Antonyuk in there. He takes the snap, and he's just going to throw that ball as far as he can. Demko does a good job in coverage. But wow, he's a lefty. You don't see that a whole lot, but Antonyuk's a lefty, and he just slung that ball out there towards Zimmerman.
I like the way he handled the snap, Danny. You see it? He's being a lefty, he just picked it up with his right hand, one hand, and put it in his left and let it go.
Fired it downfield, yeah.
What is that, 4.7 on the clock?
4.7 seconds remaining in the half, and we're just going to see him do it again, I think. Just going to let Antonyuk kind of throw it as far as he can. Again, same thing. And wow. And he throws a very nice ball too. It's like throwing a punt up there, but that is going to be halftime. So at the end of the first half, Mount Carmel's leading against the Mifflinburg Wildcats 28-0. And we're going to pause here for halftime. And you guys just enjoy the musical stylings of the Mount Carmel area band.
All right, are you ready for your tutorial?
I'm ready.
There's a switch on the back, see it?
I see it.
Up is on, down is not.
and welcome back here to Mifflinburg, the campus of the Mifflinburg High School, where we have the Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes dominated the first half against the Mifflinburg Wildcats and are leading 28-0 going into coming into the second half here. So we're going to say over Jose, how dominant were the Red Tornadoes here in this
Well, it
first
doesn't
half?
get much worse than this, Danny. For Mifflinburg, 14 rushes for -1 yard, 1 of 7 passing for 0, and 1 first down, so total offense of -1. For Mount Carmel, 21 rushes for 121 yards, 5 of 12 passing for 152. That's 273 yards of total offense in the first half, 12 first downs. Johnny Ayers, 5 for 47. Shane Widener, 7 for 34. And Damon Dowkus, 4 for 42. And Tommy Reisinger, 5 of 12. 3 touchdown passes, which sometimes gets away from you a little bit, but I had to rush through it because I don't want to get another penalty on us. For our fans, we just got a delay of game penalty because our band was on the field a little too long to suit the officials. And it was a correct call, but they will be kicking off now to Mount Carmel from the 45 rather than the 40.
Yeah, so Mount Carmel possibly receiving the second half kick here. Number 10 for Mifflinburg, Zimmerman, has been doing the kicking and punting for them throughout the game. He will be getting himself ready and set to kick off here to, it looks like, Widener and Karicki, the normal deep return guys. So, yeah, talking about that penalty, that's tough. You know,
I've seen it called before, but you know.
Band had a tough day today. So
well, they had a tough time getting out here because of the mud. They had a tough time setting up their equipment. They probably got started a little bit late because of it. But you know, instead of cutting their show short, they just finished it out, and official didn't like it.
Yeah, well, you know,
it's okay.
Yeah, that's all right. I think they do a lot in support of the football team. I think the football team can kind of pick them up and handle this 5-yard penalty for them.
Were this Southern and North Schuylkill, they might have been so jovial about it. But,
yeah.
You know, Mifflinburg is struggling tonight. It's too bad to see this. You know, Mount Carmel, on the other hand, is going to pick up some AAA points for playing AAA Mifflinburg, and it'll help us down the road.
Yeah, it's definitely a good points game. And Zimmerman really drives that deep downfield. Karicki fields it right about the 12-yard line. And he gets up in the hole, and that's a great return there for Karicki. It looks like he goes down right about the 36-yard line. So Mount Carmel's going to take over 1st and 10 at about the 36-yard line, their own 36-yard line. So we'll see if I think, Jose, you and I talked about it a little bit at halftime there. I think Mount Carmel's going to come out, you know, keep the ones in, put another
series.
Score up for one series.
Try to get it to the competition rule.
Yeah, get the running clock, and then start subbing people in, and that's what we're going to see right now. It looks like Reisinger, Widener, Dowkus, and Ayers in the backfield. Chapman and Wills in the tight end spots, and they're going to hand it to Ayers. And Ayers tackled in the backfield. Yeah. Which is a very, very unfamiliar sight when John Ayers gets the ball.
Without a doubt.
You don't normally see him tackled in the backfield or taking any sort of loss, and he did a good job of fighting to not lose more.
You're right. You know, he's in a position in a field where I don't think he could put his foot in the ground like you guys say all the time and get upfield, because he had to be real tippy-toe-ish.
Yeah, so it's going to be 2nd and 11 for Mount Carmel. Reisinger and Ayers in the backfield. Reisinger's going to roll
the middle
to his
of the
right,
field.
And he's got Chapman. Well defended by Riley Stahl. He somewhat underthrew Chapman there. And as you said, Jose, he did go to the middle of the field. Chapman coming across on like a backside post there.
I thought Wills was open deep middle.
Yeah, and
on the same play.
And Wills was open. Chapman covered very well, but as we said, you know, Reisinger, that Chapman target. He has a lot of confidence in him just throwing the ball up there.
There's a comfort level with a receiver,
right?
And he is his comfort.
Yeah.
Comfort
so
level.
You know, it's a tough play. Kind of underthrew him a little bit and gave Stahl a good chance to make a play on the ball. And Stahl did make a play on the ball. Did a good job knocking it down. So 3rd and 11 here for Mount Carmel. Reisinger drops back, and they try to run this middle screen
and
again.
It's intercepted.
And it is intercepted. by number 51, Bryce Koonsman, the senior.
Who was he trying to throw it to?
I believe that was that middle screen that they tried to run down near the goal line
Demko.
on the 4th down. I think it was to Widener. I think it looked like Widener was in the area. It went over Widener's head and was intercepted by Koonsman. So this is a really, this could be a momentum change here there for the Wildcats. They're going to take over the ball on the Mount Carmel 40-yard line. So 1st and 10, Reed's back in at quarterback, and he's going to roll to his left, and he's under a lot of pressure, and he throws it wide of Breeder. Looks like Breeder was in the area of the throw because that could have possibly been called for intentional grounding, but Breeder in the area of the throw, so it's going to be a 2nd and 10. So, trying to seize the opportunity, trying to go with a pass, right off the turnover there, it looked like.
Defensive ends Hood and Wills met at the quarterback, both of them with hurries on that play.
Yeah, and they do. We continue to talk about this defense. The defensive ends, the linebackers, the D-line, they do a great job. And here we got Stahl in motion left. And Reitz gives it to Breeder. And Breeder's got a little bit of running room. Looks like it'll pick up about 5 yards there. Tackled by, looks like Ayers and Troutman? They're not, yeah. Yeah, yep. Ayers and Troutman on the tackle there.
Troutman was there first.
Yeah. And it looked like Chapman got in on that one as well. But so that's going to be a 3rd and 5 at the Mount Carmel 35-yard line. So the Wildcats, again, in their best field position of the day.
All night, by far.
Really trying to capitalize here, see what they got to do on 3rd down. We got Reitz, he's got Stahl in motion left, and he's going to hand it to Warren. I think 21 Warren. He goes nowhere. That was tackled right at the line of scrimmage, and it was Warren. Yeah, Ayers and Chapman. These Mount Carmel linebackers, unbelievable. So it's going to be a 4th and 6. Actually, looks like he lost about a yard there. 4th and 6 at the Mount Carmel 36-yard line, and it looks like Zimmerman's going to punt. So going to try for a coffin corner punt here, I'm guessing. Maybe trying to pin Mount Carmel deep. Oh, and he keeps it. And he keeps it.
Turn it up.
And he does not get there. That was a great tackle there by, looked like Chapman. Number 44, Jack Chapman, does a great job of getting over there and making the stop. And I did see this play on film against Warrior Run. Zimmerman caught the punt, held it for a second, and then decided to run. This time he just immediately went for the corner, but doesn't get it. Turnover on downs. Mount Carmel, 1st and 10. At about the 33, their own 33-yard line. So we'll see if they still have the ones in after that interception. Again, kind of trying to get one more score before.
I think he wants to put one more up.
Yeah, so we got Reisinger in the gun. Ayers to his left. Ayers motions right, and it's going to be a toss out to Ayers.
Good
and
block.
He's got some room.
Front.
He's got some room. He's got to the corner, puts a little stiff arm, and just steps out of bounds. He stiff-armed 37, Breeder, but Breeder did a good job of forcing him to the boundary and forcing him to step out of bounds. But that's a good, big pickup there by Ayers.
18 yards.
18-yard pickup, so it's going to be 1st and 10 Mount Carmel, now right at midfield. And again, it's now Ayers out for a little breather, got Karicki in there. So it's Reisinger in the gun, Karicki to his left, Daukus and Widener to his right. And it's the wedge play to Daukus again. And Daukus for a quick little pickup there of 5. A direct snap play. And it looks like we've got a Wildcat down on the field. Oh, nope, he's up. And, Daukus, again, continuing to gash the defense with that quick little play. I mean,
5 carries, 47 yards. I think that surpasses his yearly total.
And that's
by far.
That's a pretty good average, too,
Sure
average
is.
on the carry. So, we said it in the first half. They ran it 3-4 times on one drive.
Yep.
4 times on that one drive that ended up with Daukus getting the touchdown there. So, they just keep running it until they stop it. And again, we got Reisinger in the gun, Karicki to his left. Widener comes in motion and cuts it back. And he's going to get close to the first down. Looks like he's a little short. So it's going to be a 3rd down, and it looks like it's going to be less than 1. 3rd down at about less than 1, or maybe 1 whole yard here. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a 3rd and 1. Mount Carmel up to the line pretty quick here. Burkowski in to spell Widener. You can tell by the clean jersey out there. So Burkowski and Daukus in the wing to the right with Reisinger and Karicki. And it's the direct snap to Daukus. And Daukus gets about 4 there, and that's plenty for the first down. So it's going to be another 1st and 10 Mount Carmel at about the 39-yard line of the Mifflinburg Wildcats. So again, looks like Mount Carmel running a little bit up-tempo here, a little quicker than normal out of the huddle. But it's Reisinger in the gun. Karicki to his left. Daukus and Burkowski in the wing right. And it's a play action to Karicki, and he's got Chapman running free down the middle of the field, and that is a Mount Carmel area Red Tornado touchdown. A great pitch and catch for 39 yards from Reisinger to Chapman, who I don't think he delayed on that. I just think he beat his defender on that one, Jose.
I think he just ran a seam. He ran up the seam, and it was right there. He put it on. Like we talked about earlier, they were staying away from the middle, and it just seems like now we've gone back to it a little bit, and it's been open all night.
Yeah, it has been open all night, and you know, I'm curious if that was designed. You know, we're going to throw outside to pull those safeties out, but you know, there haven't been safeties in the middle of the field the majority of the game. So,
right.
Oh, it looks like we got something going on here. They're sending the the place kicker, Julian Steller, off the field. So I'm not really sure what's going on. And they're sending, and Wills comes out. It looks like Wills is going to attempt.
He's the backup extra point kicker.
Okay, well that maybe Steller with a uniform issue. I'm not sure. They send Steller out though, and Wills kicks it up, and it's good. And wow, you ever see that old game where you hit the toy on the head and it just kicks the field goals? You ever seen that?
Yeah,
that's what that looked like. That's what that looked like. That was a good job by Wills, though, coming in there, you know, not really being
cold,
prepared.
right?
Yeah, coming in cold, not being prepared to kick the extra point, and comes in and drills it through. So that with 7:36 remaining here in the third quarter, the Red Tornadoes now lead 35-0 against the Mifflinburg Wildcats. So we talked about it throughout the game, and we're going to have to continue to talk about it. The Wildcats are going to have to do something to get moving. You know, they really haven't been able to move the ball at all.
Yeah, and with this running clock, they're going to run out of time. I hope they continue to compete, because, you know, one of the things I noticed up here, Danny, it's the first time to Mifflinburg. You know, obviously first time we've ever played Mifflinburg. It's a beautiful community. Yeah. I was really impressed with how clean and with how spread out it is, and I was absolutely impressed with the spirit and the support from the fans and everyone else with the gold out tonight for in support of pediatric cancer. And I think it's a wonderful little community, and I just hope they keep working, don't quit, don't give anything up, and just keep working at this game, and they'll get better at it.
Absolutely, and the fan base here, it's
great.
Very, very diehard. They seem very into the game, and there's a lot of people here for the game. And Chapman booms the kick downfield, and Stahl on the return. Stahl looking to get up in the middle, tries to break outside. Burkowski falls on top of him, but it looked like number 14, Avery Demko, along with 56, Mike Mikowski. No, not Mike Mikowski. I apologize. Connor Krakowski in there to trip him up. So great job defensively, or on the kick coverage team there. So the Wildcats are going to take over. 1st and 10 on the 30-yard line. And Red Tornadoes looking to, you know, kind of keep this shutout going. You know,
we have Dylan Pupo in the game too. At
Tyler
the other
Owens.
Corner.
Yep, Tyler Owens in there again. Looks like Burkowski in there.
Our safeties are the same.
Yeah.
Widener and Burkowski.
And Reitz on the quick pass to Stahl, but that was well defended there by Dylan Pupo, I believe. out there in coverage, and on the initial hit, very, very short gain, if any. And it was Dylan Pupo. As you see, he came in with a very clean jersey, and he came up from making that tackle with a very dirty jersey. So great job by Pupo coming in first. First time we've seen him on defense.
Yeah, he's doing a great job on special teams.
Very good job special teams wise, and if he keeps doing that, it's going to keep earning them time on the field. Reitz gives the handoff up the middle, and there's nowhere to go. We'll have to see who that was. It looked like it might have been Warren. Yeah, it was Warren. He had nowhere to go. Looks like he lost a yard. So it's going to be a 3rd and 11 for the Wildcats here. And again, we talk about the depth. Not a whole lot of depth, player-wise for Mount Carmel, but a lot of talent up and down this lineup. You can interchange players in multiple positions, and they always do well. Reitz takes the snap, play action, and he's looking a little screen to Breeder maybe, and wow. Just out of the reach of Breeder, but we had, looked like Witkowski and Makowski in there to put a hit on Breeder after he that ball went off his fingertips. So it's going to be a 4th and 11 for the Wildcats, and we're going to see Zimmerman, who his legs got to be getting tired.
Yeah,
he's been doing a good job getting the ball out there, punting the ball most of the game. So we got the normal return guys back deep, Widener and Burkowski, so it doesn't look like they're going to bring any pressure. And it looks like they got to change the ball out. I'm sure the ball's getting pretty muddy and pretty kind of gunked up out there with all that mud and stuff going on. So here we go. Now we got a fresh ball in there, so we're going to have Zimmerman back to punt. So we'll see if Mount Carmel does bring pressure. Hood and Witkowski coming hard, but not getting there. Good punt to Widener. Widener on the return, reversing field, and
he ran right into him.
Yeah. Looked like the gunner. Oh, and there's a flag late. There's a flag late, so we'll see where that flag came from. But it looked like the number 25, Logan Lloyd, was the gunner on the far side of the field.
And he overran
it. But as Widener cut back, he was able to come back and make the play. So we'll see what this flag is. Right now, the ball's sitting at the 50-yard line. But there was a late flag, so we're going to see where this comes in at. Personal foul on Mount Carmel. Wow. So we're going to go 15 yards from the 50-yard line. So the Red Tornadoes will take the ball over at their own 35. So it's going to be 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line for Mount Carmel. And looks like we still seeing the ones in there. Yeah, a couple new guys. You got, as you said, we got Jared Stewart in there. Burkowski's in again, yep. But still Daukus, looks like Karicki and Reisinger. Karicki takes the toss left and slips. And finally brought down on the play by 51, Bryce Koonsman, but he definitely hit that rough, muddy spot there, and kind of lost his footing and went down. So it's going to be no gain on the play, and it's going to be a 2nd and 10 at. Or it looks like maybe a loss.
Spotted. There's a mistake over there. They just got to move.
Yeah, so it's going to be a 2nd and 11 on a short, a 1-yard loss there. Karicki in motion. They give to Burkowski, and wow, he is wrapped up around the neck area there by number 51, Koonsman. Got in there very quickly, because Burkowski's a very quick runner, and he's very elusive. Koonsman got in the backfield very quick to make that play. Yeah. So that's going to...
This is where there's a fine line, Danny, I think, and where you try to substitute and get some guys in, but you can't get your starters hurt.
Right. So now
by getting killed.
Right, yeah. Yeah, now we got a 3rd and 14 here. Burkowski in motion. Reisinger's dropping back, and he's going to throw it, and he's got Wills. You know, we talked about Logan Wills, very, very happy.
And he'll pick up that first.
Yes, he will. That's a good job picking up the first down. They get the ball out there to right around the Wildcat 49-yard line. But, you know, we talked about Wills earlier on in the game. Very happy to have that number 4 jersey back on.
He's probably thrilled then.
Oh, yeah. Finally, that's probably the first pass he's caught in a few weeks now.
And, you know, to catch the ball like that, he worked his tail off this summer up at Star with vestibular training and balance training and locating the ball. And it's obviously this is what he worked for to do this. And was a little upset having to move, but he was willing to do it for the sake of the football team.
Yeah, and that shows just the attitude of this whole team, because they all do stuff, make sacrifices for the team, and that's a good
nice
run by
cut.
Burkowski. Yeah, very nice run by Burkowski there. Gets up behind his blockers. He had Chapman and Dowcas out in front of him, and kind of followed them. Made a nice little cut. Almost was able to get out to the corner. If he was able to get outside there, would have been able to make a big play out of that, but still a pickup of 7, and it's going to be a second down and about 3 here for the Red Tornadoes.
Missed with all this excitement, Tommy Reisinger is now up at 211 yards, so he'll make my special performers list for any passers over 200 yards in a game.
Perfect.
So another nice night for him.
Yeah, and we talked about it. You said he kind of moved into that 10th place spot there too.
Yep.
So that's and then, you know, as we keep talking about all this good stuff going on, Tanner Karicki, a good pickup, about 5 or 6 there for a Mount Carmel first down. So they're going to keep moving the chains and keep moving the ball. So it's going to be a 1st and 10 Mount Carmel at the Wildcat 35-yard line. As the clock continues to run. 30 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter here.
I got to suspect that this is Tommy's last play.
And Burkowski,
Maybe not.
again, number 51, Koonsman. Koonsman has been making his presence known here in the second half. He had the interception on the last drive, and then on this drive, 2 tackles for a loss, a couple other tackles he's in there on, and that's gonna end the quarter here. So that's a 4-yard loss for the Red Tornadoes, and that's going to end the 3rd quarter. So at the end of the 3rd quarter, the Red Tornadoes still up 35-0 on the Mifflinburg Wildcats. When we come back from the quarter, it's going to be Mount Carmel football at about the Wildcat 39-yard line in the 2nd and 14. Jose, how do we look from that quarter there?
Well, you know, I'm trying to do this real quick. There's enough of negative yards here that we're at 156 yards rushing now and 211 passing. So it gives us 367 total offensive yards, where we were at 273. So less than 100, you know, whatever. It wasn't, but the clock ran half the quarter.
Interception
we let them
stuff.
move the ball. Interception stopped the drive.
Yeah.
So, and Mifflinburg is now total offensive 7 yards.
Okay, so we're going to see Mount Carmel take over, and we will see Julian Steller coming in as the quarterback here, and we've got a lot of substitutions. We're going to try and locate and get everybody right while we're out there. We got Tyler Owens in the backfield, Dylan Pupo, and Dowcas remains in at the fullback spot. But you've got Julian Steller at quarterback, Tyler Owens, looks like Reese at one of the tight end spots, number 68.
No, there's no 68.
Oh, no.
Maybe 58.
58. Noah Fry in there at left tackle. Yeah, I apologize. 58. Noah Fry at left tackle. And it's going to be another direct snap to Dowcas.
Wow.
And he's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage, it looks like. So it's going to be a 3rd and 10 for the Red Tornadoes on a 4-yard pickup there by Dowcas. We've also got Chris Eamon in there on the offensive line.
Connor Krakowski, did you mention him?
Connor Krakowski, yep, number 56. We got number 16.
Dylan Pupo is in at the wing.
Yep, Dylan Pupo at the wing. Number 16, Chase Fishburne in there at the other tight end spot. Looks like Bradley Belts is in there as well.
Number 70.
Yep. And Steller rolls to his right, and he's got Reed Witkowski out in the flat.
Cousin to cousin.
Yeah, and Witkowski with a nice little move to get them close to the first down, but it's going to be just short. It's going to be about a 4th and 1 or 2. Looks like it's going to be about a 4th and 1. Maybe I was right the first time. 4th and 2. Actually.
I think that's Julian's first completion.
Really?
Varsity completion.
Well, there you go.
Good for Julian.
Yeah, very good for Julian. Yeah, because it seems like every time they bring him in here, he's a very talented runner. So they like to run the ball with him.
Yeah, they've run a lot with him, but you don't want to. You always feel like it's running a score up on somebody if you let a kid throw, but when are they going to learn?
Right. Yeah. So Owens in the motion, and
There he goes.
as we talked about, Stellar, very talented runner, and he gets enough for the first down. So that's a good run there by Julian to pick up the first down. And he got right up behind those. That play works almost all the time. It seems to me that play almost always works for a good few 3-4 yards.
Well, there's such a big wash coming at people. It's really hard to knife your way in through to get the ball carrier, especially if they're following, being patient.
Yeah, and they set it up well. They run that toss so often, and it sets it up well. And here's a little inside handoff to Pupo. And he's taken down hard there by number 18, I believe, Nate Rosen on the tackle. So, and we're starting to see some new jerseys, some clean jerseys out there on the Wildcat side as well. Looks like number 68, Devin Doan in there. We've also got number 16, Zechariah Mentz. So a lot of substitutions going on here. A lot of people getting some playing time tonight. Stellar rolls to his left, throws. He gets hit as he throws.
Oh yeah, Gabe Stetler.
But number 32, Gabriel Stetler on the interception of the Stellar pass. Stellar took a hard hit as he let that ball go, and Stetler stepped right in front of it there with a nice interception. So the Wildcats are going to take the ball over 1st and 10 at about the 32-yard line. So we're going to see. It looks like Reitz coming back out into the huddle for the Wildcats. So we're going to see Reitz at quarterback again, Jose.
Yeah, it's a little surprising, but he's not the starter. Maybe they don't have anyone else. So
yeah, so maybe they just
have to let it go here.
Keep getting him some work.
Hey, he caught it. Could have dropped it.
And that's going to be a timeout by the Wildcats. So maybe, getting a few substitutions in here. Maybe he's got to start getting these guys kind of get everything straightened away when he gets in there.
So, what year did we create the Mifflinburg alma mater?
So we will see.
The year was 1944.
Looks like the Red Tornadoes are going to have a lot of substitutions, as we said. We'll try and get them all as they get in there. I see in that huddle guys we already talked about: Reese, Krakowski, Eamon, Stewart. A lot of different jerseys, different guys in there. These are the games that I love to watch. You see a lot of guys develop in these games.
Well, they're so important with us because we only have 13 players left to play JV games. We've only played one game on the year.
Yeah.
And I know John wants to get these guys some time, and we try to get games in, and for one reason or the other, I think we've only played one game. So this is their JV game, so that's why he wanted to get them almost a half of play.
Yeah, and it was good.
Unfortunately, the clock runs.
Right, but still, this I think is just as valuable as getting
maybe
a full
more
JV game. Yeah, maybe even more. So Wildcats come up to the line. Reitz in the pistol. Number 7, Foltz, motion across the formation. And it's going to be a handoff up the middle to Warren, or 21. And looks like a tackle there. Julian Stellar in on that tackle along with, looked like Krakowski along with Eamon as well. So few guys in there on the tackle. It's going to be a very short gain, so it's going to be a 2nd and 9 for the Wildcats. 8 minutes remaining, and the clock's ticking here in the 4th quarter. The Red Tornadoes remain in the lead, 35-0, as the Wildcats come to the line of the pistol formation. 2 receivers to the left for Reitz, and Reitz rolls to his left, throws it out there to Foltz, number 7, and he does not get very far. It was a nice catch, but good job by, it looked like Davitt was out there, number 3. That's another guy we didn't get as he subbed in there.
Right.
Davitt and Pupo.
Pupo was on the coverage.
Yeah, Pupo on the coverage and making the initial hit, and it looked like Davitt got in there as well. So these guys continue as we said, these younger guys are so talented, and we got a lot of talent up and down this depth chart, even though the depth chart is not very deep, you know.
Yeah, correct. You're right.
Reed's quick slant there to Fultz, and I think he caught it, but tackled immediately on the play.
By Tyler Owens.
Yeah, by Tyler Owens, and Davitt at the linebacker spot in there getting that jersey dirty again.
Yeah.
These linebackers. And
now Witkowski looked like he's played the whole game.
Yeah, yeah. Witkowski's always he's that kind of player, though. You know, I got the opportunity to coach Witkowski for the Cougars for a year, and he's just a grinded out. He likes being down and dirty. You know, tackling, always getting hit, all that stuff. He loves that.
He's a football player, Danny.
Yes,
and
yes,
that's what
he is. And he's a Coleridge football player.
I get back to last night. I mean, he was so. It was exciting having him, and we did start it with him last year. Our buddy Warren started picking on him, called him a male model, and had a little fun with him, and he good-naturedly took it, and he's a good kid. We have a great group of kids, all from top to bottom.
Really do, yeah, and that's one thing. You know, you always see. There's always some groups of kids. As number 7, Fultz gets helped off the field. Luckily, he's off the field under his own power. Yeah, we see Mount Carmel does have a great group of kids here, and they're not many, but they're all quality, good character kids, and that's what you like to see. And you see Jared Stewart
just pushing,
manhandling two blockers on him and allowing for
that Witkowski on
big sack for the Red Tornadoes. Yeah, it looked like Witkowski and Stellar, the cousins in there to finally bring Reeds down on the sack, and that was on 4th down, and that was a big loss. So that's going to give Mount Carmel the ball back just about where they were when the interception occurred.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, they were at the 24. We're looking at the 27 now.
Yeah, so it's going to be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes at the Wildcat 27. Stellar in there, quarterback. Owens to his left. Owens in motion, and Stellar's going to keep it up the middle. And he shakes free of one tackle. It looks like number 4, Antonyuk, brings him down on the tackle after a gain of about 4. So it's going to be a 2nd and 6 for the Red Tornadoes. You know, we keep talking about Stellar does a good job running the ball, but he's all even the pass on the last drive. He was under a lot of pressure there, but does a good job of getting the ball out there to his receivers. He just doesn't have the opportunity to throw too often.
Exactly.
Stellar in the gun. Now he pitches it to Owens, who came in motion. And Owens does a good job of running. Going to be a little short of the 1st down. It's going to be about a 3rd and 2. Here's the clock continues to run. 4 minutes and 40 seconds and counting, with the Red Tornadoes continuing to, are still up 35-0. And it's actually going to be a 3rd and 3 for the Red Tornadoes, with Stellar in there at the quarterback spot. And Michael Reed subbed in there, number 45, and goes in motion. And it's going to fake the pitch to Reed. Stellar has a nice little hole there up the middle, going to have plenty for the 1st down. And he gets close to the 10-yard line. It looks like he's tackled down at about the 11. So it's going to be another 1st and 10 for the Red Tornadoes. And it looks like they marked him down at about the 13-yard line, actually. So it's going to be a 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes at the 13-yard line. Julian Stellar in the gun. Michael Reed to his left. And there was a bad snap, it looked like, and the Wildcats come up with the fumble. Number 60, Quentin Doan, somehow ended up with that ball. It looked like there, as we talked about earlier, Jose, it looked like there was like a scrum in the middle of the field there, and somehow the Wildcats came out with that ball. So, as quickly as Mount Carmel's drive was getting close there, it's given right back to the Wildcats. So it's going to be Wildcat football at about the 23-yard line, or the 22-yard line, it looks like.
No, timing is difficult, Danny, like we talked about. These guys haven't gotten to play.
Right.
They're usually running the other team's plays and scout team and whatever, and they don't get to run the offense. You're mixing players in there, and it's just difficult.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult. And I think that's probably what the issue was there. That's normally, you know, what you see when there's a missed snap on like a direct snap or something like that.
Sure.
It's usually something like that. But, you know, we're going to see the Wildcats take over at the 22-yard line, 23-yard line maybe. And timeout Wildcats with 2:37 remaining in the ball game. It is 35-0 Red Tornadoes. And the Wildcats still have struggled to get anything going. And we didn't talk about it a whole lot, Jose, but I just wanted to mention that, you know, we talked about the Wildcats missing their starting quarterback. And just to give you a little thought of what they are missing, on the year, DeGroat's 6 for 60 of 123. He's got 569 yards passing and 3 touchdowns to his 6 interceptions. But he also has 54 carries for 172 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he's big in the air and on the ground. So they definitely missed him tonight.
You know what else is missing when you look at 154 yards net? You got to take into effect he's probably sacked a number of times, and those negative yards came off of his gross total. So that's really an impressive number.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And number 16 on the carry, Zechariah Mentz, taken down on the play by number 9, Tyler Owens. But good little pickup there by Mentz for about 7 yards. It's going to be a second and about 3 at the Wildcat 40-yard line. 30-yard line. Yeah, I apologize. Still
they're hard
struggling to see him. And play action. Reitz rolls to his left, and he doesn't have anywhere to go with the ball, but he makes one guy miss, and he gets enough for the first down. And that's going to be another first down for the Wildcats.
That's the second only.
Yeah, their second first down of the game. That one was the first one.
Well, penalty.
Earned. Yeah, this was the first earned first down for them.
Exactly.
So it's now first and 10 Wildcats at their own 35 now. But, you know, we talked about it. DeGroat, really missed. I mean, Stahl has 405 receiving yards. I'm sure all coming from DeGroat as well.
I'm not sure. Did he catch a ball tonight? It might have been his first game without a catch.
Yeah, I don't think he had any tonight. So there's a rollout by Reitz, and he gets it out to Hackenberg there. Aaron Hackenberg with the reception. He's a freshman. So Aaron Hackenberg with the catch there. Pick up about 7, brought down by number 6, Austin Garankowski, out there on the coverage and with the tackles. So a good job flowing to the ball there by the Red Tornadoes, but a nice job by Hackenberg. And we got Reitz, a little play action, rolls to his left now, throws it out there, and he had 2 guys in the area. It looked like Hackenberg and also number 42, Sidney Lemon, out in the pattern there. But we got another timeout here with 35.6 seconds remaining for a timeout by the Wildcats, and Mount Carmel still leading 35-0. So not sure the use of the timeout is maybe just
get the young guys another shot.
Yeah, get them another play or 2. Maybe give Reitz 2 plays to go into the huddle with. You know, if
That'd
they
be
get
tough. Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see what they can do here.
You know,
it's
they have to be
2.
pleased, Danny. They never gave up tonight. They kept playing their game and let their other kids play the game. And we got to play everybody tonight. And I'm sure it's not the way Mifflinburg wanted it to turn out, but it was good.
Right.
Doesn't look like anybody got hurt.
Yeah. And it's going to be a lot of unhappy mothers tonight because they got to wash these white jerseys for the Red Tornadoes. But here, it's a drop back, straight drop for Reitz. Under pressure from Krakowski.
Krakowski,
yeah, Connor Krakowski in the backfield there with the sack. And now it looks like the Wildcats coming up to the line quick, trying to get one more play in here offensively, and it's a 4th down. We're under 20 seconds here, 4th and 6 for the Wildcats. Under 11, 10 seconds now. And reach straight drop back, throws it out to number 42, Lemon. And Tyler Owens does a good job of putting a hit on Lemon and causing separation, and that is going to be the end of the ball game. So the final score is going to end the Red Tornadoes 35 and the Mifflinburg Wildcats 0. So Jose, I mean, it was a good job offensively for the Red Tornadoes today. Great job defensively. First shutout of the season. Defense has to feel good after that tough loss to North Schuylkill last week. What was the message? What was the message for the defense this week?
Well, I think it was to get back on track, really. Get back and start playing your game. You know, we didn't see anybody tonight anywhere close to Libby,
right,
or as good a team as North Schuylkill. It's been interesting to me tonight to see how North Schuylkill made out with Jim Thorpe.
Yeah,
another 5-0
undefeated team. Yep.
But you know, we got to worry about ourselves, and we're a good football team. And I think John got all of the things out of tonight that he wanted to do.
Yep.
Defensively, Mifflinburg had 24 rushes for -4 yards, 5 of 15 passing for 14 yards, total offense of 10 yards, 2 first downs, and the big thing, the shutout, which I think they were probably a little upset when we didn't get the one up at Jersey Shore.
Yep, that was
a tough one. It's
one.
always important defensively for Mount Carmel. Offensively, 37 rushes for 176 yards, 8 of 18 passing for 219. Total offense, 395. The interesting thing to me on that is that we had gone over 500, and over 400 in our last 3 outings. And we have probably the easiest team, and we didn't get there, but mercy rule comes into effect when you're doing that.
Yeah.
And we had much better balance with the 176 and the 219.
Yes.
So I think overall John's going to be real happy with the way things worked out tonight.
And what was the amount of passes for Reisinger? It was
8 of 18.
Right. So
for 219.
Anywhere near the 30 that he had to throw last week, which is, as you said, that the balance. That's more of what John wants to see.
Yeah, I agree
with those guys. So it looked a lot better. They looked good, and he completed it to multiple receivers.
Receivers.
He went to Demko, he went to Wills, he went to Chapman. Chapman more so often than not.
And the big one to Ayers on the touchdown.
The big one to Ayers.
He had 4 touchdown passes, which again puts him on my special performers list where 4 touchdowns. There haven't been that many guys with 4 touchdowns, you know. So it's a real nice night for Tommy Reisinger and the offense, and hopefully for people scouting, they're going to have to pay attention to a more balanced offense, and I think that's only a good thing for Mount Carmel.
Yeah, and that's definitely got to be the thought. You know, we're going back home next week against Hughesville, correct?
Hughesville.
And Hughesville coming into this week, I'm not sure what happened with their game this week, but coming into this week, they were 0-5.
They're struggling a little bit.
So they are struggling, but Mount Carmel, you know, doesn't want to, you know, they got past Mifflinburg tonight, a tough, another well-played game, and they're hoping to continue this trend of winning throughout the rest of the regular season. You know, we got Hughesville this coming week. South Williamsport team the following week, who's a little bit tougher, but can't look over Hughesville. And I know Coach Dara doesn't do that.
We want to know again.
And that's what Coach Dara has told us every week. We want to be 1-0 after each game. So we're hoping to see that. And
well, you know, Danny, the nice thing is that we're in control. We're in control of what we're going to do the rest of the way, and our kids know that. And if we want to do anything in the postseason significant, we're going to have to just take care of ourselves and go one game at a time and just do the things that we can do. And then hopefully we'll get in a position at the end of the year to maybe take another step with this thing.
I agree with you, and I hope that we do that. And I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. And we will see you again next week at home against Hughesville.
And make sure your brother Jim's back next week, you know, so I can go back to my usual position down there.
We'll get you back on the field. Jimmy will be done with his work commitment.
No, thank you for allowing me to do this with you, Dan. I appreciate it. It's fun up here, but I'd rather let it to you guys.
And thank you for all the help, Jose. And so for Dan Lesko and Jose Gonzalo, everyone have a good night.